Operation Confidence proudly presents America's Invisible Heroes Talk Radio Show. Tune in weekly on Sundays from 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. Pacific Time with your host, Consuelo Mackey. Co-host, Air Force veteran Matt Davidson. Announcers, Taylor Marcella and Brooke Gadesi. U.S. Army veteran and entertainment segment host, Charles Whitehead. U.S. Army veteran and strategies for host segment host, Dr. Kathy Cash. U.S. Army veteran and Lifeline for Women Veterans segment host, Martha Elena Varela. National Director of Faith Services, Chaplain, and Veterans in Recovery segment host, Anthony Acampora. And U.S. Air Force veteran and Incarcerated to Success segment host, Kevin Lewandowski. For more information or to be a guest on our show, email info@operationconfidence.org.
Operation Confidence, America's invisible hero, invisible hero.
Operation Confidence is a grassroots nonprofit. The organization's mission is to provide stable housing for veterans who have experienced homelessness, as well as providing a wide range of supportive services. To help accomplish our goal, a successful landowner has donated land for the project, a world-renowned architect has offered to design the houses, and construction classes from the local community colleges will take part in building the houses. Your support and donations are needed. To get involved, please visit our website at www.operationconfidence.org or email info@operationconfidence.com.
Hey, well, welcome everyone, and thank you for tuning in to America's Invisible Heroes, a show that is dedicated to our veterans and their families. Yes, I'm your host, Consuelo Mackey, Executive Director of a grassroots nonprofit organization called Operation Confidence. No, I'm not a veteran, but my heart goes out to our American heroes, especially those with disability and have experienced homelessness. Okay, so American Invisible Heroes Talk Radio Show has a new format. Each week or every other week, we try to highlight the co-hosts and their guests. So this week, we're going to be excited to introduce our board member, Jimmy McGee. But before we do that, we're going to our board president, but before we do that, we're going to let board member Taylor Marcellus introduce the rest of us today. Take it away, girlfriend, baby girl.
Yes, Tony. We have Jimmy McGee, board president and VA and former VA pharmacist. We have U.S. Army Reserve vet, board member Charles Whitehead. He is the entertainment host and investigative reporting. And last but not least, we have U.S. Army veteran Pedro de Leon Jr. and his monthly segment, Infinite Banking Consultant.
Okay, so we want to say happy birthday to baby girl, Taylor. We're so excited to be able to thank you for all the love that you've given to the show and that this is your special day. And you're actually at the hotel, right? I mean, at the restaurant having
Yes.
your birthday. Huh?
Having lunch. Yes.
Yeah.
There
with family.
Yes.
Tell your mom and everyone I said hi.
I will. Have a great show, everyone. Thank you for the birthday wishes, and I will see y'all next week.
My pleasure.
Oh, she's timing out?
Yes.
Oh, you pulling a Charles today. Okay.
Okay, we understand.
All right. Good time now.
Bye.
Charles, take it from here.
All right. Let's see. So, Jimmy McGee. All right. It says, as a pharmacist, Jimmy McGee, our board president, provided comfort and care to his veteran patients through careful formulations of treatments that could potentially save their lives. Yes, he first got his start in the field of pharmaceuticals while studying at the University of Southern California's School of Pharmacy. This provided him a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to work for the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs in the VA hospital of the Wilshire District in Los Angeles. After receiving his PharmD in, I don't know what that means, his PharmD, he soon rose in the ranks within the VA hospital and was instrumental in many pharmaceutical innovations such as the unit dose system, which provided the proper calibration and preparation of intravenous medications. This revolution in science is now the standard protocol used in all major hospitals. Jimmy McGee's wide-ranging experience led to his affiliation with the American Society of Health System Pharmacists, or the ASHP. Here he was able to provide professional representation to pharmacists who serve as patient care providers in acute and ambulatory care settings. For nearly 25 years, Jimmy served the U.S. military at the V Hospital until his retirement. After retirement, Mr. McGee decided to take the wealth of knowledge that he received from his many years of experience and began to teach pharmacy technology at the California Paramedical and Technical College. Over the next several years, he served as the Assistant Director of Life Sciences at Canyon Springs High School, Program Director of Pharmacy Technology at Kaplan College, and American College of Healthcare. Jimmy holds an MBA in business. All right, Jimmy, take it away.
Wow, wow, what an introduction. Thank you, Charles. I appreciate that.
All right.
I didn't know all those things. I did all those things.
We just like
Okay,
to
thank you. What I want to speak a little bit about actual patient care, and what anyone in the medical field is supposed to think about first before they get into anything else. And this includes our topic on racial and ethnic disparity in the VA health system, as well as other health systems around the country. Okay. Now, also, we're talking about gender disparities and age disparity because all those happen in our health care facilities. Now, the first thing that you learn about when you're in medical school, pharmacy school, or medical assistant school, or whatever, anything deal with medical is always patient care first. In the medical field, it's not a job. It's not a 9-to-5 job. Sometimes you work you start at 9, you get off at maybe 9 that evening. So it's not that type of situation. That's why it's very interesting field. Now, what do we mean by racial and ethnicity? Here I go, ethnic disparity. Excuse me. I'm not nervous, but I do have a speech impediment. We're talking about the quality of healthcare. And we're talking about the quality of healthcare for everyone, which means minority Americans, such as the African Americans or the Black population, Black Americans, and Latin Americans. Also, we're talking about male and female disparities, okay? Sometimes, more than often, the males are, especially in the military, the males are sometimes more precious, I should say, than our female constituents in armed forces. And now let's talk about the old and the young. I was not privileged, but during the time I worked at the VA hospital, I heard a lot of medical physicians, speaking about our veterans, our older veterans, and calling them Gomers, old Gomers, which is it's not a good term to use when you're speaking about the people that serve our country, keep us safe, and helps us with all the situations that we have in this wonderful country that we live in.
Jimmy, what's a Gomer?
Gomer Pyle.
Gomer Pyle.
Oh, Gomer.
Oh,
that's not funny.
Yeah,
no, that's not. And that was a term I heard used quite a bit working in the VA, by physicians. Now don't think I'm on the physicians or the medical staff or anything like that, because the VA is an outstanding place to be. They do a lot of wonderful things there. I'm talking about sometimes you have certain individuals that take this as a job or take this funny, and they do not take this serious, uh, about our veterans who protect our country, who protect us, who keeps us safe, you know, and they don't understand that. I mean, the things that they're doing now is because that the veterans, the military was
Mm-hmm.
there, you know. I didn't mean to get off on that, but that's a very touchy subject for me, you know. And I'm going to make a confession now that Connie never knew. Connie, I was in the military. I was in the United States Marine Corps in Vietnam. That's why you didn't see me for a lot of years. Yes, I took a vacation in Southeast Asia.
Oh, really?
That's why I
Wow.
was that's why I was missing in your life for so many years. Yeah, you know.
Okay.
But that's it. I'm not going to speak anymore on that. But anyway, to get back to what I was saying, that it's interesting how the code of ethics that we have in the medical field and other fields too, that sometimes you have certain individuals, not the companies themselves or the facilities themselves, that take advantage of the situation. And that's what I've seen in my years. Now there were four people. I only have the names of two. It was Dr. Soneth Sahar and also Kimberly M. Tippings that did research on all of the things that you're hearing from me. You know, and also you know, the quality of healthcare. I'm kind of passionate. That's why I'm speaking so funny right now. The quality of healthcare for our minorities, for our servicemen, just for our people, for our children, for our females. You know, it's just horrendous how these things are happening. We have people that walk in the hospital and never walk out. You know, I'll give you an example. The greatest female tennis player in the world, Serena Williams. When she had her first child, she almost died. She almost passed, you know, because of situations that weren't proper. She had to tell them what to do about the birth of her child and the procedures that they were going through. Now, I hope she doesn't mind that I reveal that to you, but it's very, very tragic. And it's only a few situations or a few individuals that's responsible for that. 99.9% of our facilities, our healthcare professionals are A plus, but you always have the C students too. You know, I don't have too much more to say on that, but I just wanted to let you know that we have to be very vigilant about cleaning up some of the situations that we have so far as um, racial situations, age situations, gender situations, you know, within our healthcare system. I'm gonna turn it back to you, Charles. If there's any questions, I'm here.
That was great information, though.
Yeah, I mean it's
Charles?
yeah. So I'm kind of why would they call it, you know that, even though I know we'll let that go, but you know, because I'm curious as you know why, you know, but I'll find out later with that. But um, it is, you know, I mean, you said it all. It's pretty straightforward. I don't have any questions to that.
What was your time in the VA, Charles? I know that you've been there. I don't know about Pedro or Jose, but I know that you spent time there.
Well, yeah, you know, so my story is when I came before I made it home, coming back from after having basic training in you know, AIT, my schooling. I had a car accident, and so now I'm you know, this was in 1982, and about 6 7 years or so ago or something like that, I was doing a podcast, interview, and when I put it out, you know, one of my cousins was listening to it. He said, "Hey man, you know what? Say you might you know, qualify for disability from back then." I had no idea. You know, it's like, you know, I was a 18-year-old kid, you know, and so I went through it. So my experience in the VA is back then. This happened in Arkansas, so I went to University Hospital right away. I was in a coma for 2 days. So I was in a car accident with a head-on collision with a drunk driver, and so I was in a university in Little Rock, Arkansas for 2 days. Then I went to the VA and did my rehab, and I had to stay there for a month because I was banged up too hard. I couldn't fly. When I got home, I was home for 3 days, and I got pneumonia, so I went to the Long Beach VA and I spent 10 days in there. And then afterwards I got out and kind of tried to start to get my life together. So I went to and applied for the certificate for the housing. They gave me that, but they wouldn't give me. I've been appealing and trying to get health care, and they just they're denied it twice, and I'm waiting to see a judge. So that's my experience with the VA. It's
How many years has that been that you've been?
1982. So that's been
My God, you've been applying since then?
yeah, yep. Well, I'm 60 years old now, so that was
A
40,
long
40.
time ago.
Mm-hmm. That was a long time ago. But
Wow.
I'm working now with the trying to get the health care through spinal cord injury, and so we'll see what happens. But I'm waiting to see a judge for the final appeal. It's COVID put the brakes on a whole lot of things.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. Hmm.
That was a
Jimmy has a whole story about that. But let's move around along.
yeah.
I know
So
that Pedro, out of Texas, I believe. And he has to leave at a certain time. So why don't we introduce him?
okay, but Jose has a question real quick. Let's go to him and then we'll
Oh,
go.
you did? Okay.
Yes, go
All
ahead,
right.
Jose.
I do. I have a question for the doctor. This longitudinal study about racial disparities, and I'm just wondering, and from your experience, how much of that effect is from frontline workers, not just your back end doctors and your face to face experience with doctors. How much of that disparity would you account for if you were to moderate it with the frontline workers? We're talking receptionists.
That's a great question, actually.
I work. I used to work at the VA. I'm a research by trade or training.
Yes.
I'm just wondering. Also, from personal experience with frontline workers with different VAs, Loma Linda here in the Southern California, Loma Linda, West LA, Temple. I'm just wondering how much of that disparity would be attributed to your frontline worker.
Actually, I found out that most of it is attributed to the actual professionals. Okay. Now there is some situations where some of our online or frontline workers, as you said, it's taken not all, but a few. It's taken more or less as a job rather than a profession dealing with patient care situations, because the whole thing is about patient care first, and that goes from the like the receptionist or the intaker all the way to the director of the facility that you work at. It has to be, that's the first thing: patient care, patient care, patient care, patient care. That's the whole thing right there. I hope I was able to answer your questions a little bit there.
Yes. I think I'd be interested to read a little further on that research that your colleagues did on the racial disparity. Although I completely agree, I'm just wondering where are some of those. Where did they put that research? And anyways, it could be pretty interesting to read.
Well, it makes sense what you're asking because
Yeah, and you those doctors that did the research on the script, don't you?
Yeah.
yeah,
I just spoke about two of them. Yeah, but I think there was about four of them. About four of them that actually.
Well,
Okay.
Now, see, one of the things. Now, they actually have some hospitals that are notorious for not unethical treatments to patients.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, big hospitals.
Oh yeah, I've heard
I
about
mean,
that.
hospitals that have there's one here and one in this city and one in this city and one in this city, and all of them have problems. You know, I'm not going to mention any names or anything because I don't want to get sued or nothing. But I mean, it's a fact.
Well, I
It's a
mean,
fact
if you're
that
stating a fact, they can't do this. If you're stating a fact, they can't sue you over facts. You know?
yeah, you know, because there are patients and actually people that work in these facilities that are extremely upset about a lot of the treatment that the patients are getting. You know,
I hear about that too.
yeah. Now,
Have-
don't get me wrong. Let me say this right quick. Don't get me wrong. Now, I love my time at the VA. Let me tell you something. I love my time at the VA. You know, and especially VA West LA because I was 3 minutes from the beach. From that on, you know, the weather was always good, never over 83 degrees. And I love my time there. You know, and it was interesting how everyone that I remember working there actually worked as a team for the vets. You know, I actually worked as a team for the vets. You know, and it was interesting. I mean, we're getting a little bit off the subject. I came in with a lot of brothers, you know, that came in, and as they rose in the ranks, you know, they became directors of different parts of the VA, and all of them were military guys. All of them were military guys, you know. Now the VA now is not really run by military people that much anymore. But when I first started with the VA, I mean, especially when in West LA, you had barracks and everything, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was straight military, straight, and this is before I went in, was straight military. So I had a leg up, you know.
Now you'll
Right.
see a bit of. I mean, you'll see some that have military background, but most of them are either from UCLA or.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
all
yeah,
mostly civilians, you know, and the civilians have a way of treating people like they have and when you ask the question about the is it the frontline people, they treat veterans like like they treat it like it's a social services department instead of a VA. You know,
right,
so,
right.
so they give the vets hard times. You know, like they don't want to do their jobs. There's just I mean, I hate to say it, but they're a lot of those frontline people, they're lazy and they just don't care. It's a job for them, not trying to. They're not in it to help. They're in it for the paycheck, and it's unfortunate, but
Yeah,
they can
you
sit.
know.
Experience. Right.
Pardon?
No, I'm saying that Charles had experience. He should know.
Yeah, I mean, I know just by knowing veterans, because I've been part of the whole VA system for a long. I have a bunch of family members who are vets and like active still, and then so I got a whole bunch of stories that go way back, and just even hearing the people that like because I'm the VP of the
Mm.
paralyzed Beach of Long Beach, and so I hear the stories, I know what's going on. It's like, and they can call me out. Let's go to court. You want to? Okay. You know, hey, I'm only stating facts. It's like it's the
Yeah,
old just the facts, ma'am, just the facts. If you know the what was that Dragnet or one of them. So
yeah, Dragnet. Yeah, it's interesting that like years ago, um, at VA West Los Angeles, the vets went on hunger strikes.
mm,
I mean, major hunger strikes. In fact, a lot of them died. They was living off water. But the problem is they were living off the faucet water, we call it, and instead of mineral water. And they weren't eating. They went on strike for like 30 days, and some of them actually died. They were demonstrating out in front of the VA in West LA, the whole bit. Yeah, and basically what the veterans now don't understand is that the Vietnam vets are responsible for any type of health care or service connected situation that they have now, because during that era, all those things were not present, because of the but because the veterans protesting and going to Congress and going to Washington and everything, the thing started upgrading. But it's still some situations at all these facilities that need to be taken care of.
Yep.
Right.
A lot.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you so much for that information, both of
Now,
you.
now, what I'm getting ready to read, this is part of that too, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna read this. Racial and ethnic.
Well, why don't you read that afterwards for him, because
Okay, we'll move on.
Pedro's
Okay.
in another state and he has to leave.
Oh,
So,
okay, let's do that. Yeah. Okay, let's go to.
Pedro,
Let's talk about U.S. Army veteran Pedro De Leon Jr. He's a leadership, decision-making, and
by the way,
project.
before you start, Pedro
Uh-huh.
and I have a long friendship. I'm so happy to have him on the show
All
today.
right.
Now you go ahead with it.
All right. Okay, we had to get that straight, for sure.
Yeah, I had to do it.
Okay, so he's a leadership, decision making, and project management skills during his time in the military. He managed and streamlined over $20 million in system and processes during his 12 years in service. Pedro branched out to the financial advising world for Mass Mutual. His experience in business has provided him with the knowledge and background to find creative solutions for business owners and investors. During his time as a financial advisor, Pedro co-founded Tent Hunt, where he developed a social enterprise business. While developing Tent Hunt, he and his business partner attended multiple pitch. Oh, he was doing. Well, let's see. He and his business partner attended multiple pitch competitions, including USC, UCLA, and other incubators, where they won first and second place on numerous occasions. Currently, Pedro works with business owners and families to educate them in financial literacy and hosts several events in Dallas-Fort Worth. He is also a franchise owner, Jose Pila, rooted in the dynamic Inland Empire of California. Jose M. Pila stands for as a beacon of dedication, lifelong learning, and service. His military experience has shaped up a robust foundation of discipline, leadership, and resilience, qualities that have deeply influenced his professional and academic pursuits. With a master's in business administration, Jose expertly navigates the complex terrains of wealth management and real estate investing, skillfully blending any analytical precision with marketing insights, a testament to his military-honed discipline and strategic acumen. Excuse me. Beyond the business world, Jose is deeply involved in an intellectually stimulating pursuit of a PhD in organizational behavior. His research goes beyond mere academic endeavor. It is driven by passion for psychological research, specifically aimed at enhancing veteran motivation and outcomes. This reflects his deep-rooted commitment to the veteran community, aspiring to master statistical research not only for academic recognition, but to meaningful contribute to our understanding of veteran experiences within organizational settings. Jose M. Pila's journey intertwines his military service, academic rigor, and professional achievements, positioning him as a figure of impactful change. He is dedicated to making significant contributions in finance, academia, and crucially, in enhancing the lives of fellow veterans. Woo! That's a lot of big words, Jose. All right, sounds good, man. I felt like I just went through school. I need a degree now. Go ahead.
You talked out, so you got more breathless.
Sorry, I collect degrees for.
That's great. Both of you are commended.
All right, go ahead, Coach.
I always say Jose is a career student because he's always like in school ever since I met him.
Really? How long have you and Jose been working together?
Jeez, we know each other. Damn, dude, 15 years now?
Really?
I've known you since 2010, late 2010, almost 2010.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so good.
13, yeah.
Yeah, I've known him for a long time.
Yeah, a very long time. Yeah, and actually, I was just transitioned out of the military when I met him, and so
Okay.
yeah, and actually, he's one of the. He is my brother because he's actually helped me with some of the issues that I was going through when I came out of the military, and just housing issues. He was helping me with just rent, putting me in front of organizations. And then from there, I just kind of got back, got into back in my feet, and from there, this is where him and I started Tin Hut a couple years,
so cool.
2018. So.
And Tin Hut is actually is there a roofing company or what? What is Tin Hut?
So we started Tin Hut a while back. The idea was to help out vets finding. There are specific groups that we were focusing on, which was the veteran drifter, and we were trying to catch veterans not to go in the homeless stage. Okay. And so what we did was raise money to actually find affordable housing or even acquire real estate. So that's kind of where we were moving towards. But then we did a lot of competitions, like mentioned in the bio, and we also were part of the UCLA Social Enterprise Academy, and that's kind of where we've been. We took off from there. So I don't know. You want to ask some stuff, Jose?
No. Yeah, we unfortunately, because of the pandemic, we kind of took a step back and with the organization. So yeah, like everyone else, the pandemic kind of
it stopped everything. I was right there at opportunity door with our mission, and boom, here comes the pandemic. But I'd like to talk with you too later to let you know what we're doing. I don't think I shared with Jose that we have 10 acres of land that's been donated to us in San Bernardino, and that's for our veteran community. And we also have a world-renowned architect who is offered to do the designing, but we got to get through the bureaucracy, and I need some folks like you guys to help us to jump over the hurdles. It's not that easy. You can have all this determination, but they got so many stumbling and clicks. Okay.
I can tell you so much. Jose and I have been through, some of the roundtables, and I can tell you there's a lot of red tapes. So many books, and I don't want to name some people's, I don't want to put people's name out there, but yeah. They want to say they want to help vets, but they don't.
They don't know.
Are you guys affiliated with like the SSVF or anything like that?
We used to be pretty well connected with the SSVF grants and the organizations that got that type of funding. Mm-hmm. As of now, Tin Hut is trying to, readjust, shift fire. But I do. My wife actually is the executive director of the Los Angeles Veterans Collaborative, which is a large organization that gathers all of the nonprofit organizations that are providing services for veterans and their families, and just gives them a spot to share that information with the community. So she would actually be more well versed in who would have those type of funds.
So please let her know about what I'm doing, Operation Confidence, with our board president. And
I will. I'll let her know. She's also an Air Force veteran. She's currently still serving as a reservist at March Air Force Base.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. So
let her know, please. Give me her contact information. I'd love us to communicate with her, let her know what we're doing, how long we've been doing it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, she's definitely someone very important to connect with.
Yeah, because
if you're requiring services from the Southern California community, and
right, that's what I need to know.
Yeah, me as well. Part of what I'm doing. So, we just because
definitely, I'll send over that information so that you can.
Okay. Yeah.
Dude, you have my email address. Send it to me.
Yeah.
That'd be great. We need you for sure.
Definitely.
Well, that is
Especially when it's a rarity when you find a female veteran, that
I know they give female veterans give them a hard time, and so they
Right.
tend to don't want to get step forward and say things or anything or be part of because the history.
trauma that they've gone through. Yeah.
Yeah, the bullying, the certain things like that. Just being, they tend to not some certain females. They won't step forward because of what happened in their time in the service and all. And it's kind of like it's
They're scared.
it
We
is.
can hardly get them to come on the show. They're afraid to speak up.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I want to give honor to someone, my mother, who was a sergeant in World War II. You
Mm.
know, she was Private Veda McGee, in World War II. But how unusual it was for a female to be in parts of the military, especially a Black female. So I just want to give a shout out to my mother that's rested in peace now.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I run into a lot of that too. I don't mind telling I'm not a veteran, and they literally say, "How dare you want to help me? You're not a veteran, and you got to be a woman of color." Can you imagine that? But I mean, some of us want to leave a legacy. I mean, I'm doing this only because my reasons for doing this, and I love talking about this real quickly, is that we at one point, which I still do, but some of them are in heaven now, had a phenomenal group of females, male and female wheelchair users who were motivational speakers. And we would go out and speak and tell about how it is to be successful, but having to use a wheelchair. One of the presentations was that the LA mission on Skid Row. And it was amazing. They had a beautiful building, and I was very friendly as a friend with the executive director, founder. And we gave this presentation saying, why would you cry about no shoes? Look at us, our legs and our feet don't work. And it came out wonderful. Well, the presentation was great, but when we were leaving is when I ran into, we ran into an encampment of our veterans living on the street, mainly African Americans and Latinos. And me with the background of being commissioned on disabilities, and as well as having an organization primarily for disabled individuals, I already knew there's a certain type of care that one needs that's bounded to a wheelchair, such as cleanliness and what happens if you can't clean yourself properly. And here they are in the streets, no food, no water, and no hygiene facility. And it just broke my heart. And I've been
Excuse
on
me for about 1 minute. I'm sorry. Excuse me for like 1 minute. Okay.
I've been on this campaign ever since, and that was like almost a decade ago. So we've gotten here where we at least have someone that said we want to believe in what you're doing, and it's given beautiful land. And I want to have it similar, the building of it and the organization of it is similar to Habitat for Humanity, for which I was on the board many years ago. But they get everything donated, from nails to screws to help. Everybody comes out and help that organization. So I wanted to have that type of support to help us with our project. But of course, I definitely want to meet your wife.
Yeah, I do want to say that me living in now in Texas, in Dallas area, the culture is very different. There is a huge support towards the veterans out here.
Oh, that's great.
So there is mostly vets that are in business. They emphasize veterans getting into business. And if you want to open an LLC, it's free for veterans. You just got to submit the paperwork to prove that. And then there's a gentleman that I connected with. Actually, his name is Denver. He's out of the MVP, which is the Merchants, Vets, and Players. When we started talking, he lives here now in Dallas, and he talked about like the culture, how it's different in from between California and Dallas. And I'm not trying to say, and I said I think that it's a really interesting research that I've been kind of like gathering together. And I think that in California, we need to really work together, like Jose's, his wife, how they're putting all the nonprofits together, and we have to kind of focus on one thing to get to that next level, because it looks like, and then this is just in my eyes, and Jose can like correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like everybody's just kind of going the other way instead of focusing on the mission. And this is why it's really important for organizations to get together, that even though they're not in the same category as far as helping vets, but they combine arms together, they can definitely meet that goal. And this is how we're going to be able to execute and go through those like challenges, that whatever it is, funds or getting people to, collaborate and volunteer to build some new housing or whatever it is. Right. And I'm just speaking from my point of view and of Eagle's eye, what I've been seeing in different cultures in different states. Right. But there is a big need, and no matter what, veterans are going to need that place where they can say, I feel like the camaraderie is here. I feel comfortable being here, instead. And I'm just going to say it because I don't care, that there's so many organizations that are just doing it for themselves instead of doing it for
exactly. Yeah. And there's organizations out there and individuals that wants to just come and take you all them years that you've been working to get these contacts, snatch them from you and pretend like you don't even exist. I've had that happen as well. So it becomes very challenging, but at the same time, that man upstairs told me don't stop. So this is a legacy that I'm intending on leaving. And any help that you all could throw our way, I sure appreciate it.
Yeah, and what you're saying is a valid point, Pedro, because I've experienced it. I hear these people are it's they go off with this. Oh, this is mine. Well, the government provides the money for you to work with veterans, but yet you call it mine,
Yeah,
me,
exactly.
that's it's a shame.
Yeah. Jose and I, went at that time, we used to call people shit. I'm sorry, I don't know if I can curse here, but
Well, you did it.
yeah,
Right.
Too late now.
You did it.
Oops. Yeah, we used to
No, but
call
it
that
is
stuff.
true. Like you will have a veteran walk into a service provider, and they're needing housing, and the service provider's like, well, I don't have any SSVF funds. I'm sorry. And it's discouraging and disheartening to tell for the veteran to be like, well, now I gotta regroup and try to find another organization that will have those particular funds or whatever service that it is that I need.
That's true.
Instead of that organization saying, you know what, I don't have any SFBF funds. Let me contact somebody that does. Let me see what I can do to help you. And don't let that veteran leave without another number to contact. It is more helpful for that veteran to get that another contact than just to say, well, I'm sorry, I can't help you. I don't have what you need.
And what you're saying is true. And I can tell you, this has happened to me this year. Because I moved, my mother passed a year ago. I moved into her house.
On Veterans Day.
She did, a year ago on Veterans Day.
That was amazing.
To her house, and the house needs to be like wheelchair, retrofitted. Some of the doors are not wide enough and all this. And I got placed with the company, and I'm gonna pull a Jimmy. I'm not gonna say any names, but these guys were like, they signed me up, and so I mean, it was just like at every turn, it was an excuse why they weren't doing anything. I mean, I went for 4 or 5 months before I was like, hey, are you guys gonna help me or not? And then they was like, well, we only help do X amount of dollars. I said, you mean by every month? No, period. And I said, what? And so they were going to take care of some things, and 3 weeks passed, and I'm like, I just called it. Hey, are you going to help me or not? They said, oh yeah, we made we mailed the check to get it done yesterday, but it took 3 weeks. And these guys, and then there's a you sign up in the the onboarding, what do you call it, where you fill out the forms and and everything.
Intake form.
intake forms. I wasn't even signed up, and they gave me they paid part of what it was, and it's like, oh, so how do you justify that? That's kind of
When we were in the incubator process of 10 HUD, and Pedro and I came up with an idea similar to the Better Business Bureau to rate all of these organizations that are providing services for veterans, and these grants, the grantees that are providing these grants for these organizations should look at this
Good.
rating system and say, hey, you know what, the last year that we gave you this grant, you didn't do so well. You didn't serve the community that we gave you these grant for as well as you were supposed to. And you got to B, you got to C, whatever it is that the rating system, and only fund those organizations that are providing the actual service and are doing a good job for it. But unfortunately, we didn't get the funds to proceed with this. So
Fun as a threat. That's
if anybody is listening and knows a funder, I got the idea.
That would have been a great program.
Yeah, I do want to say something because I do have to go in time difference here, but one of the things that I always bring this up to any organizations, nonprofits that I work with, and collaborate together, is that sometimes people are not aware of the funds that is there. Everyone is fighting for that same exact fund, but there's restrictions to what you want to do for helping veterans. Exactly. So that becomes a restriction for the nonprofit, which they can say, well, what you're kind of like going away from the actual mission. So that's one. Two, there's some organizations that Jose and I know is that they go for these funds, but there's no checks and balances as far as their line items, what it goes to what.
Right.
I like to be transparent because, and the reason I'm saying this is because I've been seeing this over and over, and I keep hearing this. I've seen articles about it. Just recently, I just read one, and it's like vets are not getting what they're supposed to be getting because of like, well, this line item states something miscellaneous, right? But what's it for? So now veterans are not getting the help that they're supposed to. And there's an 80-20 rule. 80% has to go towards the mission, 20% has to go towards the back end office for nonprofit. That's kind of the accounting rules, so to speak. But there, so the reason I'm saying all this stuff, right, is that there's so many organizations that are looking to do so much great stuff like you guys, but there's so much restriction trying to get those funds.
Exactly.
And you guys know exactly how to help the veteran, but then when it comes to other organizations, like, oh yeah, we'll help vets, but they're doing it based on what
they can gain from it.
Exactly.
I mean, we've seen. It was just in the news, a huge veterans organization. It's a big commercial, and the poor veterans are not getting any services, and the more of a disability that they have, the less service that they get. They were written up quite a while ago for taking money. So I mean, it's so bad.
I know, and stuff like that, So when I pass this information on to some of the people I know, it was like, oh, it sounds like they over there on there helping their buddies or something.
Right.
That's when I brought up
right,
and that's why I brought up the whole thing, like, oh, these are my funds, I wrote the grant, I did this. Whoa, it's like, it was, so I find that very, shocking to hear somebody talk like that.
Right.
Well, I sure thank you so much, Pedro, for coming on the show.
But before you go, give us a phone number if we have a number people can get in touch with you guys, or want to make sure we don't, because we do have listeners. Not everybody's reading, and we have listeners. So if somebody get in touch with you, how do they do that?
So you can actually, the best way to do it is right now, it's through my email. Our domain I got to refresh it again, but it was at info@10hut.org. But you can always send it to me, pedro.deleonjr@gmail.com.
Now, how anybody gonna understand what you just said?
Yeah, trying to be like, slow it down.
I got a lot of energy right now.
And people get kids, and some of them have disabilities. They can't write fast, and you just zoop right by it. Let's say that again.
Yeah. So
slow.
So it's info@10hut, TENTHUT.org.
Okay.
And then, or you can have my personal email, which is pedro.deleonjr@gmail.com.
Okay,
Yeah.
and repeat 10 HUD again, just in case someone doesn't write that quick or fast.
Info at tent hut, TENTHUT.org.
Great.
ORG. Yeah.
Okay, well, we hope that you
What you,
receive
Jose? Is there you guys still the same? You guys are where are you located? Located? I know Pedro's in Texas. You said where are you?
in
I'm
LA.
in Southern California.
Oh yeah, you did say it.
Inland, yeah, Inland Empire. Yeah, the info at 10 HUD is also a good email. The other one would be Joe Pila, JOEPILA, the number 2 at gmail.com.
Repeat that again.
Joe Pila, my last name. You'll see it on the
Mhm.
screen. It's Joe Pila, the number 2
Okay.
at gmail.com.
And that's why I say not everybody's watch. We got you got a bunch of listeners too now, so we're not only just
Oh, no, it's okay.
yeah. So
Yeah,
Right.
if you have any questions, again, I'm doing research. I'm currently doing my PhD at Claremont Graduate University here in Claremont. And my
Mhm.
research focuses on motivation and outcomes for veterans.
you're not
So
you're not too
question.
far away from me. I have you heard of Rancho Los Amigos?
Yes, I get that.
So I worked for Rancho for the 29 years. I'm still part of that, and so I worked in research all of that time. But we did all kinds of studies. Wheelchair studies, braces, crutches. We had a car transfer study. I went and I have connections, and we got a brand new Toyota Camry donated to us to use as a transfer vehicle. Of course, we took the motor and all that out and just basically needed the cab part of it. But so we did all kinds of wheelchair. I mean, research projects. And so,
That's
Well,
wonderful.
if you're interested, because my research is because I love diving. I love scuba diving. So
mhm.
I'm trying to incorporate motivation and outcomes with teaching veterans how to dive, disabled veterans how to dive.
Talking to the right person. So
Okay. And there's an organization called, and I'm gonna plug it in. I'm sorry, Thompson and Ruben. Their organization is called the Waves Project out of Temecula,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, so I'm linking up with them and trying to conduct some research with that organization, and we need veteran participants for the research. So I'll hit
yeah,
you up.
we can talk. Pedro, do you have to go now? Is that
Yeah, I have to get going. So sorry, but
okay?
definitely looking forward to the next one.
Yeah,
So
please
much
pay.
information out there that we
Yeah,
can.
Yeah,
thanks.
you
Appreciate you.
absolutely.
All right.
Coming. So
Thank
yeah,
you so much.
well, we'll see you next time. But Jose, yeah, man, that's because I'm the vice president of the PVA Long Beach chapter, and so and I mean my whole life has been research and development and things like that. So
And he's board member for Operation Confidence, and
that's
he
actually and that's what I'm gonna
works
say.
directly
So
with Jimmy and me too.
Let's stay in contact. I'll definitely I'll get your email from Pedro, or if I can get.
Yeah.
yeah, just
Please
it's
send it to me and then I'll forward to
kind of
him.
important. Yeah, and then we can because I'd like to talk with your wife about these collaborations. Because I'm still looking for help.
Oh,
So
definitely. Yeah, definitely.
All
She
right.
she'll be out of maternity leave in February.
Oh, that's right. We just had a baby, huh?
all right.
Yeah,
A little baby girl. Oh, how
she
cute.
is
What's her
6 weeks
name?
today. Acalia.
All right.
Acalia. That's beautiful. Well, give Acalia a kiss for Aunt Connie.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I will. I
I
will.
love the babies now. Okay. That is so cool. And listen, I really want to talk to you more extensively about our project because the
Mhm.
land that was donated is in the inland park.
Okay, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so we're
I can
sitting
help
on
in
10
any way that I
acres
can.
and we got to make it work now. People getting
Mhm.
sick of waiting on us.
I know, so
Okay.
some of that slowdown stuff with COVID is starting to,
Yeah, that's
it's
really
getting back
knocked us
on. It's
down.
starting to happen again. So, that'd be great. We can work on that project, and so yeah,
We had a big event that, excuse me for cutting you off, at the day before COVID was a huge event at the University of San Bernardino, where the actually president was a keynote speaker. I mean, everybody was there, from the head of the Veterans Administration. Everybody was there as I speak. And lo and behold, the next day COVID hit. Everything shut down.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The foot was in the door.
Foot got snagged in the door. You had to pull it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Jimmy,
Well,
you remember that? You was our
Yeah.
master ceremony. Yeah. It was a great event, but we're starting all over again, and we sure need your wife and you on board, and of course, Pedro.
yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. I can anything that I can do to help. I'll be there.
Thank you so
All
much.
right.
And you coming back now too, right? And bring some of your veteran buddies or your colleagues who can just spreading information. You know, we got what, 176,000 views now. So we move right along for us not to have that big broadcasting background.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean I'll definitely have my wife talk extensively about her organization.
Oh, I would love to have her on the
Be
show.
perfect. Yeah, absolutely. That would
That'd
be
be wonderful.
absolutely
And some of her female veterans come on too, because like we said, we've had a bit of a challenge to get them on. They don't want to talk about some of the trauma they've gone through. And the few that we've had on, it was so heartbreaking. You know, they were very prominent in their positions, but they would get on the show and literally cry as far as what all they've gone through. So
Yeah.
it's so bad. But I know you have to go, and God bless you, and kiss that baby for me again.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I
All right.
really
Thanks again. Take care, and we look forward to working with you.
Yeah, we sure
thank you,
do.
Doctor.
Confidence and yeah, so great.
Hey there, Jimmy, stand by. Did you hear him?
Yeah.
Are you muted?
No,
No,
he's not muted. Thank you, Doc. We'll
no problem. No
maybe we'll get to
problem.
chat again later.
Hey, I'm very honored to meet you guys. I am. I really am. And I'm looking forward to, speaking with you or just listening to you explain the things that you're doing. That's very honorable. Okay. You have a good one. Have a good one, bro.
All right.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Con.
Well,
My pleasure. Bye-bye. So, Charles, we winded it on down now with Jimmy. We held on to Jimmy, though, didn't we?
uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So what part of
We held. You don't have to go to the
okay, we'll just kind of, we'll clean that stuff up next time, right?
yeah,
I'm
we'll
bring up this thing about the deaf veteran.
out.
I'll
Say
read
it
this,
again.
I'm gonna read this thing about the deaf veteran, and because
Okay, it is important. And then we'll wind it out.
okay, all right, here. So, a deaf veteran who couldn't hear police commands was tased and spent 4 months in jail. A deaf veteran filed a federal lawsuit claiming that 2 local police officers slammed him to the ground and tasered him without recognizing his disability when they arrested him after stopping him for running a stop sign. Attorneys for the veteran filed a lawsuit in the U.S. District Court against the officers, the city, and the Board of County Commissioners. The arrest was captured on body camera footage from at least one of the officers, which was shared with CNN by his attorneys. The veteran is deaf in both ears and primarily uses sign language to communicate. The charges against the veteran include a second-degree assault on a police officer and resisting arrest. They were eventually dropped, according to the lawsuit. The veteran was held in jail for 4 months with an extremely high bond due to the serious nature of the charges and could not pay his bail, according to his attorney. The bond was first lowered to $3,000, which he still could not afford, and then he was granted a personal reconnaissance bond, releasing him from jail without having to post any money. The prosecution against the veteran continued for almost 2 years until the district attorney moved to dismiss his charges. And the lawsuit also claims the veteran was denied an interpreter while in jail. He's seeking compensation for physical and emotional harm, pain and suffering, permanent scarring, and economic damages, as well as punitive sanctions against the individual officers to punish and deter the blatant abuse of authority and violation of rights evidence evident here. While in jail, he suffered even further indignity, humiliation, isolation, and discrimination due to being deaf, due to being unable to communicate. The lawsuit says he was also allegedly denied an interpreter during his meetings with the attorney while in jail. The sheriff's office declined to comment on the case when contacted by CNN due to pending litigation. Now, isn't that crazy?
So horrible.
You
That
know,
is so horrible. And I hear that a lot though. Once upon a time, I'll say last year we had a lady on that was from represented deaf community. Remember, she was saying something similar.
yes, and
It's
what
really sad.
it is, and I watch a lot of First Amendment audit videos, and I saw
Mhm.
a man. He was at a store trying to pay for his goods, and it was taking a long time. And and he was, he had like mental challenges, and they called the police on him. The police said, "Hey, they want you to leave." And he said, "What?" He said, "I'm just trying to pay for my stuff." And his speech wasn't the greatest, and it was clearly evident that the guy was, he wasn't, he had mental issues, and they took him outside. I mean, and then they just roughed him up, and he's like, "Well, what am I doing?" He said, "I didn't know." He said, "You guys aren't police officers. You're security. Call the police." Because he didn't know they were police, and it was just, and ultimately the officer who was doing all of the led the all of the abuse, he was fired, and the city settled with the guy, and it was like, because I mean, just dogged him out. He says, "Hey, I didn't do nothing. I'm trying to pay for my stuff," because he was at one of those self checkout things, and
Right.
he was. They said, "No, they want you to leave," and he said, "What?" He was taking a long time, and so the officer
That's
didn't.
terrible.
Yeah, and so they didn't recognize that, and they were abusing the guy, and it's just, you can look it up on YouTube. It was just, ridiculous. But anyways, we'll that's unfortunate, but
Right.
we will wind this down now.
But Jimmy, you got any
Yeah.
closing remarks before we start signing off?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
But we want to have it.
Closing remarks is this. Thank you for
Jimmy, like,
allowing me
yeah,
to
I'm
be
ready to go.
here.
That's my closing remarks.
I'm really honored, and just thank you for allowing me to be here. I'm really honored, and this was a very interesting and good discussion that we had today about what's happening in these facilities.
Yeah, all of it. So we want the board president to be here more often. Now we understand you got a heavy schedule, and you real quick, you still coaching, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm finished for this season. Yeah, I'm finished for this season. Yeah.
And who are you coaching? The
Where?
kids,
Well, they were no high school.
high school kids, and coaching them in the what? Football, baseball?
Yeah. No, football.
Okay, there you go. You've been there for quite a while, haven't you?
Yeah, 28 seasons I've been at this school.
Oh my goodness. So they
What was
keep
what was your record this year?
It wasn't very good, so they fired the head coach.
that wasn't you, was it?
No.
Yeah.
Listen, I've coached in just about 3 or 4 schools in LA, a couple of schools out here, and I've always had a winning record, and I got plenty of championship rings to show for it.
All right, now I didn't. I didn't
And
want
I've
to.
sent a lot of kids to school. I've sent a lot of kids to school. I
Yeah,
helped send a
you
lot of
did.
kids to school.
That's good, because I wasn't gonna ask you about the championship just in case you didn't have any, but since
Oh yeah, I probably have more championships than probably any of the high school coaches around. I even have I have a college championship from USC, 1962 national championship.
Okay.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so so I'm
We
good.
need, we need you back then, my
All
friend.
right.
It might. I'm not. I have a couple of wheelchair football championships. So
All right. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, I
Yeah,
got to get out of. I got to get out
all
of
right,
here.
all right. I'm going to show my funny humor clip, and then we're gonna get out of here. And
we're gonna sign off now.
yeah.
Okay.
So let me show this real quick. It ain't just not gonna take that long. Let's see here. This is kind of old, but
Okay. What you doing in there, man? Watch me eat this nice little slice of pizza. Let me tell you something. For me to find a slice of pizza by a propane grill, that's a blessing. But you know, people don't be grilling pizza like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here though. You know what I'm saying? Oh, look at you with your little friend. You got a friend? Okay. Only friend I need is this pizza right here. You know what I'm saying? Down in the willow garden. You know what they be singing when the food is good? Food real good, man. Let me tell you something. I feel sorry for dogs because y'all got them weak paws, you know what I'm saying? You can't even hold a slice of pizza like I can, you know what I'm saying? I can hold it, fold it over New York style. Y'all can't do none of that, man. Dogs got weak paws. I'm handling this pizza, you know what I'm saying?
That is so crazy. You come up with some of the some of the most craziest things to end the show with.
hey, you know what? You know that's and for those who can't see, there was a groundhog had a piece of pizza, and he was you know, of course, it had the voiceover, but you know, he's like, you know, he's like, hey, and there was a dog and a couple of dog and something else looking in the window where he was at. He said, "Oh, you got a little friend, huh?" So yeah, but you know, that's I like to do stuff like that, you know. So,
Okay, let's sign on out now. KGLA is having a
mhm.
kids giveaway. Go ahead on and say that. Talk about that real quick.
Okay, let's see here. It's right. All right. KJLA, the team at KJLA.
KGLH radio.
Right, right. No, but it says
Yeah, that was
KJLA.
a mistake.
Right, okay, that's all right. So join the team at KJLH as they bring joy while stuffing buses with new unwrapped toys and gift cards for children of all ages who need love this Christmas. DJs Ade Lamar, Tammy Mack, Lon McHugh, and Kevin Nash will be spreading cheer and collecting donations at 4 McDonald's locations in Los Angeles, Inglewood, and Carson. As KJLH, we believe no child should be left without the joy of a toy this season. If you are a teacher, nurse, first responder, church leader, and know of a child or family in need of toys this holiday season, fill out the form on the KJLH website to nominate a child or family. And Ade Lamar, okay, so this is their address. Ade Lamar, she's at 2900 Imperial Highway in Inglewood. Tammy Mack is at 3602 South La Brea, and that's in Inglewood. Lon McHugh is at 988 West Slauson Street in Los Angeles, and Kevin Nash is at 21836 South Avalon Boulevard in Carson. And of course, you know, KJLH is Stevie Wonder's radio station. So
Right.
for
Mhm.
the people that don't know, this is you know, I have a little connection with that. Remember way back in like in the '80s when Stevie Wonder gave away a Rolls Royce. Um, if you don't remember, Connie, but he gave away a Rolls Royce. One of my cousins, was the one that won that car. You know, that was in like
Really?
yeah, that was in like '82 or '3 or something. It was in the '80s. I remember that. You know, yeah, one of my cousins, she won that car, and so. But
Wow,
anyway,
that's amazing. Okay,
so,
so as always,
hmm
we want to let our viewers, we want to remind our listeners and our viewers that the mission for the show is to provide stable housing, is to help find stable housing for our veterans with a wide range of supportive services. So we really want to ask you to get involved with our grassroots efforts. Lastly, today, as of today, Operation Confidence American Invisible Heroes has over 176,000 views. So we're coming on along here, guys. We're really excited about that. We wanted to ask all of you to please subscribe to our YouTube channel, because the more YouTube supporters we get, the better we'll climb up. We're trying to get to that $1 million mark here. I mean, the million viewers mark. So
yeah, you got a mark too. You know.
the $1 million mark too. You got that right. So we are in closing. We want to let everyone know that the show is not only on YouTube, but we're streaming on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, as well as Amazon, iHeart, Stitcher. We have our own Instagram, and we have Operation Confidence's Google blog. So we're getting there. We want to thank everyone for coming on the show. We had a great informative show today. And we'll be back next week.
Yep.
Thank you. Have a
I'm for
good
the pillow. I got the end of the video, you know, and then
Okay, you got to end the video. All
we'll
right. See
see
you
you guys
later.
next week.
Bye-bye. Gonna play our ending music.
Yes.
Ooh, press play.
Operation Confidence, America's invisible hero, invisible hero.
Bye-bye. See you
Bye now.
next week.